It's been a long time, but we are back at it. For those that might have thought that we were done, believe me, like I've been lazy enough being like, do we really want to keep podcasting? It's just such a hassle.
Sometimes, man.
What's that?
Not a hassle. It's tough in certain stretches. We were on a roll there.
This is a hobby. This is a hobby. We don't do this for a living.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on with you? It's been a long time.
Not much, man. Working. I'm tired as hell. If you can't tell. Bags on my eyes.
I like the mustache.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been going with the stash look lately. I'm trying to bring the 70s back.
My brother has a mustache.
It's the look. I'm telling you.
I don't mind it. I had my Wyatt Earp look for a while.
No, you did.
And it was fun for a little bit. And then I noticed the double chin. And I had to grow the goatee out.
Yeah.
And then I kept it after Yellowstone left or got off the air because the spinoff is on right now.
Yeah.
But now there's only 2 episodes left. My goatee was getting out of control. So I just said, screw it. And then I trimmed it all this past weekend. And now the beard it was enough for like a really thin beard. So the beard is back.
Beard is back. I like it.
So we got to talk the Super Bowl. We tried to do it last week and maybe even the week before, and it just ended up not happening. But we got to talk the Super Bowl. Rams over the Bengals, and I mean, people thought it was a really good game. I thought it was just okay.
It was an okay game.
Yeah,
it was just okay. The reason I thought it was okay is because I believe like the two sort of biggest like stretches of time in the game were kind of bullshit in my opinion. Obviously the missed offensive pass interference on the Bengals' long touchdown.
You know, I'm gonna crack open a drink.
There you go.
Haven't drank since the holidays. I haven't drank since the holidays.
I only drink on weekends. I can tell you that.
It's a special occasion. We're back.
Oh, yeah, and then I felt at the end that was one of the worst penalties I've ever seen. I legitimately went off on Twitter.
The Logan Wilson one, yes.
Like there were people trying to downplay it, and I think that's BS. Like I get the Bengals penalty and like everything, but like timing of everything matters. Like that was the game. I mean, that penalty was the game. They gave him 1st and goal with like 80 seconds left in the game. It was over. Like you know what I mean? It's just like you. And my whole thing is like, why in the Super Bowl in that moment can we not just go to replay and be like, that is not a penalty, pick that flag up?
I've never understood why penalties aren't reviewable.
What? Dude, the play should have been for the Super Bowl, can they get this 4th and 9 or can the Bengals stop it? That's what it should have been. And then the Rams had timeouts left. They could have technically even got another shot when the Bengals got the ball back if they didn't get it on 4th and 9.
When they threw that flag initially, like right after it was live, I thought it was the right call. He looked like he was all over him.
So did I. But then I realized it was perfect.
And then I thought, well, then like the first glance, I'm like, he really didn't touch him. Well, maybe it's one of those deals where he wrapped his arm around, like his waist, which the refs are going to throw a flag every time, and he really didn't.
No, he did. I thought it was perfect defense. Literally, dude, he was draped on him without affecting his movement at all. Like, anyway, I thought the team that probably just should have won based on talent won. So I'm not like super
it really wasn't a well played game. It was a good defensive game.
No,
offensively though, it was not a good game. I sent you that excluding the 75-yard touchdown pass to T. Higgins.
85 yards or something, right?
It was, I think, yeah, something like that. The Bengals averaged 3.8 yards per, or was it maybe less than that? But anyway, under 4 yards per play. Yeah. An average yard per play is about 5, which is what they finished with, but you got to factor that play in. Excluding that, they were well below average at 3.8. Yeah. The Rams were below average too at 4.7.
Sean McVay, man.
So I want to get this out of the way. You had some Sean McVay shit to say.
He's just a fucking dork, dude. First of all, I just hate his haircut, and his hair.
I like his hair.
I don't think he's a bad coach, so I'm not gonna say that he's a bad coach. I do think he coached like shit in both of his Super Bowls, in my opinion, though.
Definitely the first one.
I personally think Matt Stafford saved his ass at the end by making some really, really good throws.
Yeah. So
kudos to Matt Stafford.
I'll let you finish your thought.
Kudos to Matt Stafford for throwing some dimes on the last drive of the Super Bowl. Like straight, I I'm glad he won a ring. I'm glad Ramsey won. I'm glad, like, players that are Hall of Fame level that really, like, they don't need a ring, but it's just, like, a real, like, cherry on top of a great career. You know, Jalen Ramsey's going to be first ballot now, 100%. Obviously, Aaron Donald's going to go down as a GOAT. Like, who else? Von Miller getting another one. Like, that's awesome. He had another 2 sacks. Like, Von Miller's still a beast. Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp. Like, I'm glad all those guys won. Odell Beckham. You know I love Odell Beckham. I've been Odell Beckham.
You have pounded the table for Odell Beckham for a long time.
For a very long time.
It felt like maybe last year or the year before, probably more like last year, you started to waver a little bit.
Well, I actually thought he was done.
Yeah, so did I.
Dude, he's not. And it wasn't on some, like, I don't know. I thought maybe he was spent or something because I'm just like, he's not producing. And, like, it turns out he did just need to be in the right environment. He looked like, I mean, you know, he's not like top 7 or 8 receiver anymore or anything like that, but I still think he's a very
I don't know. He's
player.
playing pretty damn well.
He was, dude. He looked good.
It's honestly a shame that he tore his ACL in the middle of the game.
I love him, yeah.
But I should start things off by saying I got to face the music. I owe both of these teams a massive apology.
So do I.
You do too, a little bit. More so. Definitely me more so, because you were higher on the Rams than I was. Yeah. But the Bengals, I'm going to start with them. Bengals, if you're listening out there, I owe you an apology. I should have. I don't know if I should have believed in Joe Burrow more, like in training camp. I don't think what I said was ridiculous. He was coming off a knee injury, and all I heard coming out of training camp was how his receivers couldn't catch the ball, specifically Jamar Chase, and who goes on to be an All-Pro in his rookie year.
I mean, that's not – you don't have to apologize to them, dude. I mean, Vegas had him as, like, the third lowest tied.
And Zach Taylor was, like, the favorite to be – like, one of the favorites to be fired after this year. And I never really – I will give him some credit. I never thought he was that bad. His first year, the roster was terrible, and they were somewhat competitive, even though they finished 2-14 or something like that. And then last year, they were still kind of competitive, and then Burrow got hurt. And then I would never really thought he was that bad, you know. Yeah, but I don't think he's that good either.
I agree.
And then during the season, I've gone through and looked at kind of the roster. I'm like, man, how are they? What are they outside of Burrow and Chase? And then I remembered, oh, that's right, they signed Trey Hendrickson, who is probably the most underrated pass rusher in the league.
Beast,
and then just very underrated moves, like. Yeah. Trey Hendrickson, Chidobe Awuzie. I think Mike Hilton was another one. And then, I forgot, Jesse Bates is a really good player. They signed Von Bell last year.
He's about to be gone, though, I think.
I don't know. It depends on if they want to pay up, but I agree.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just remember something. I'm like, that's on me for not doing my due diligence. So, Cincy, I apologize. Rams.
You really owe an apology.
Do I? I think I said I owe more to the Bengals, but
I don't know. You kind of shit on the Rams.
I did shit on the Rams for a long time.
No, I think a lot of that was like Packers vitriol. To be honest with you.
100%. 100%. I wanted to keep claiming that my team was, the top team, and I was just looking for any possible way to just shit on the Rams, but. That was about what I expected from Stafford this past season. I don't think he really exceeded expectations. I always thought he was an underrated quarterback, but he clearly went up into like that top 10 range, 5 to 10.
I think he's top 5, easy.
You think?
Tom Brady's gone. He just won the Super Bowl and threw 40 touchdowns. What the hell do you want from the guy?
I still have images of Detroit, and there were times this year where I thought you can get the Detroit, you can get Stafford out of Detroit, but you can't get the Detroit out of Stafford.
but dude, outside of Rodgers, dude, like nobody, like, dude, you're not gonna have like these 40 touchdown, 5 interception seasons like him, dude. Like he throws a lot and he does make some dumb decisions, but I mean, dude, are you taking 5 guys over him right now for next season? Name them.
Rodgers, Mahomes.
Okay.
Although, I'll be honest, I'm kind of wavering on Mahomes a little bit.
And Allen.
A little bit. Of course, Josh Allen. I forgot about our boy Josh Allen. Those 3.
That's it.
If Russell Wilson. If Deshaun Watson plays, I'm a Deshaun Watson guy. I would take him probably before Stafford. But you're right. I mean, it's not very many. Now
We're
that
going
I
to get
think
into
about
Russell
it.
Wilson in a minute.
Why is that? Oh, Philadelphia. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and close my thoughts on the Super Bowl. I thought it was a entertaining game. I thought it would be a close game.
It was
not the best Super Bowl I've seen. I saw, I sent you the text from William. He was like, "Oh, what a great game," and I thought, it was all right. Just because it came down to the final minute and a half or so doesn't mean it was that great of a game. I thought, honestly, with a minute and a half left, that they left Burrow too much time. I really thought they were going to go down and score, and I've always heard the adage from Rodgers at game-winning drive start on the first play, and they hit Chase for about 20 or 30 yards in the first play, and I thought, here we go. Bengals are going to go down and at least tie this game.
Joe was just hurt, man. You could see he couldn't even drop back, let alone move around.
I don't want, and I said this, my brother has adopted the Bengals as his team since they added Joe Burrow. So that's a whole another conversation. But after the game was over, my mom sent a text message to all of us and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry for Burrow, Cincinnati, whatever. I like Burrow." And they were just going over what happened in the game. And I responded it with, starts up front. And he told me, he got a little snooty with me. He told me to shut up. I wasn't trying to be an ass. I was just literally saying, starts up front. You can't give up 7 sacks in the Super Bowl.
That's an easy fix, though, in my opinion. Like, you could argue, teams like the Seahawks have been trying to fix their O-lines for years. But, dude, just draft O-linemen high. They'll probably be pretty fucking good. You don't need it.
Well, it starts this year because this is looking like a really good offensive line draft.
Yes.
And go spend, do what the Chiefs did.
Yeah, but they have the 31st pick.
That's the other thing with the Bengals. Reasons why I'm not as high on them going forward. You're not drafting in the top 10 anymore. Now you're drafting in the back half of the order.
I'm just not high on them because it's the Bengals. I'm not kidding. If you took this entire roster and the coach and, put it in literally almost any other city outside of 3, I'd be like, yeah, this team's going to be really, really fucking good next year. For some reason, I just don't think they're going to be good next year. I don't. Hopefully Joe Burrow proves me wrong because I really like him.
I think they got a lousy owner. They don't really have a GM.
Dude, they're paying their coach less than a lot of coordinators. It's embarrassing.
Well, they just signed him to an extension, so I don't think so anymore.
I'm sure not anymore, but...
But, yeah, I don't want to get into the whole... We got into it a little bit over... really, after the game, I was like, what's funny is they don't get to the Super Bowl without Jamar Chase, but they don't win they're not winning the Super Bowl because of him. And it brings up the whole draft debate. Do they take O-line or receiver? They chose to go receiver. And I don't want to get into that because...
they won that, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I don't want... And I said that... texted you, I've become the villain because I'm bringing up this question in hindsight when we don't know the answer, because in a parallel universe, maybe drafting Rashawn Slater would have changed things. We don't know, though. I don't think they're in the position they are without Jamar Chase. So
I don't either.
I'm not getting into that. If I do that, I become my friends. I don't want to become my friends. As PFT says, we don't play the what-ifs game.
The thing is, you can't look at it in a vacuum and just be like, oh, well, they took a wide receiver over a really good tackle and they needed a tackle. No, they took Jamar Chase, who was his literal best friend, and it paid dividends right away because he is his best friend. He just bought the house next door to him or something. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not just they're like, oh, well, a couple drafts ago where Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb was the number 1, and they're like, oh, we're going to take him over Sewell. I don't think they would have done that. Do you? Do you think they would have took any of the other top receivers that weren't Jamar Chase?
No.
Not in that draft or any of the previous drafts. I think they're taking a tackle in that position in any other draft.
Most of the time, probably, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If Jamar Chase came out last year instead or something like that, they're going O-line. Guaranteed. They're not just going to pick a wide receiver. So that's what I'd say.
You're right. If it wasn't for Burrow and that connection, I think you're right.
Dude, he had including the playoffs, he had, I don't know, almost 2,000 yards or something.
He had a good season.
Yeah.
But the meme I sent you really came to life with that offensive lineman.
It's switched because, like you said, it got him there. That was a really good thing. Wide receiver quarterback connection is good enough to get you really far, but you're not going to win without an O-line.
It starts up front. That's why I still remain a big proponent of from the ball out. You start, you get your quarterback, and then you start with the O-line, and then you build out.
That's why the Eagles and Packers are almost always pretty decent because they both follow that, philosophy pretty well.
Most teams do. And I think Cincinnati would too if it wasn't for Chase and Burrow having a really tight friendship. So we got to talk about now, I guess, Tom Brady. Big news. He's retired.
Coming back. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going to cry. He's not retired.
I think it's going to take a lot. I've seen enough of his press conferences and like him interacting with the media enough where I kind of get where he's coming from when he said you never close the door. You never close the door.
I don't think that he necessarily meant that as like a hint that he's coming back. I actually think he really wants to retire. I just don't think he's going to stay retired. That's where I'm at with it. I think like he genuinely is like, dude, I should probably quit because my wife's like bitching at me like every year, and it's probably getting annoying as shit, to be honest with you. But then he's going to go spend time with his wife and kids, and in like a week he's going to be like, all right, dude, like we can do this 8 months a year. Like, can I go play fucking football for a couple more years? I heard a really good like a really cool theory, and I actually hope it happens, that he was just like, basically this is like a polite way of like just getting out of Tampa, and he's going to go to the Niners and win another one, baby. If he fucking did that shit. And it's crazy because that's like not impossible. Like that, like if he went to the Niners, I bet you they'd have like a 50% chance of winning the Super Bowl because that roster is stacked.
He's going to have to wait a year.
I think he could do that easily.
Well, if he wants to come back, he's got to wait a year because if he comes back, he's got to report to Tampa.
I think that's the plan, though.
Maybe.
Or like.
Although when he comes back, he's going to be 46 years old. I think 46.
They can trade Tom for like Trey Lance and like. Oh, they already traded.
I was about to say it's the same argument they try to get Aaron Rodgers. You have no more picks.
Yeah, never mind.
Not for a while at least. So you can't trade for him. He's got to go to Tampa or sit out a full year and come back as a free agent.
I just want him to keep playing. It fucking sucks, dude. He's still so good. Like I the same reason I don't want Aaron Rodgers to retire. It's like, dude, you're still good. Don't retire yet. Like wait till
Brady. I really thought someone said this on Rich Eisen's show. Like someone said on his show. He's playing until he's 50. Let's be honest. And I really thought that's what he was doing.
The reason I actually like the biggest indicator I think he's going to come back, because the other stuff is just like my feelings and me feeling like he's too much. Like, dude, Gronk was like, I think he's going to come back at some point. Like, even if it's at 50 years old, like, I think he's going to come back. Like, I just don't think Gronk would say that, because I don't think Tom would appreciate it if he was just like, dude, I'm not coming back. I wish people would stop asking me this. Like, I just don't think Gronk would just say that for no reason. Then again, he is a moron. Like, maybe he was just like,
yeah, I don't know. They're really good friends, but Gronk.
That definitive. Like, he was like, nah, dude, I genuinely think he's going to come back. Like, even if it's in a few years. Like, he could play in a couple years pretty easily. I mean, he only got sacked like 20 times this year, dude. If he goes to a team with a good O-line, like, he's fine. Here's
the thing. And that's why I said originally, like, it's going to take a lot. I don't think he's just going to come back to come back.
I agree.
And I think that maybe that's even. I know it worked out and he won a Super Bowl in Tampa, but I think he kind of had. I don't know. I don't want to say regret, but I just don't think he had the same love in Tampa. I don't know. You know what I mean?
You want to know why I think he's done? I think he knew that his Tampa Bay window was last year and this year because of the roster they had. Like, they're going to lose some people, and they're just not going to be, like, an elite team next year. Like, that doesn't mean they can't get to the Super Bowl because the NFC's kind of weak, especially if Aaron Rodgers goes to, somewhere else in the AFC or something. Yeah. If they trade him, he's going to go AFC, let's be honest. Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, but I think that's his thinking. He's like, I'm losing Godwin. I'm probably going to lose, I don't know.
They don't have much money.
No, yeah, like they're going to lose some shit. And he's just like, dude, I'm not going to play if I'm not competing for a Super Bowl. No fucking way. Like, he's too old. Why would you? Yeah. Why the hell would you just play on a team that's going to win 10 games and win a one-play game? Like, that's stupid.
San Francisco makes a ton of sense, though. With Garoppolo off the books, that's a good chunk of money that's going to free up because they paid him a lot. And, Brady's not going to take the highest paid, salary. So that makes a ton of sense. But it's going to probably be a year from now.
And it's just because it's like that's his like his old team.
That's his home, roughly his home.
Like such a Tom Brady fucking ending. Even if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, just like going to play there like an asshole. Like, I would love that. I hope that happens. That'd be cool.
It would be. I mean, we've seen what this McVay or really Shanahan offense is like with a really good quarterback.
Oh my fucking god, I I would love it, dude. With the run game and oh my God, I would love it.
And Shanahan, he is losing McDaniel, but I think, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but Shanahan always has a good O-line.
Yeah.
That's just his.
I mean, he calls the plays. Not that I don't think Mike McDaniel was
No, I meant just offensive line. Not necessarily from a play calling standpoint, scheme and nothing.
Okay.
I meant offensive line.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, he's not going to go to a team that has a bad O-line because he's
absolutely.
old.
I mean, he'll literally get broken in half.
So San Francisco always has a pretty good O-line under Shanahan, so that makes a ton of sense. I won't lie.
It'd be cool. Just like you said, logistics are just like it's probably not.
It's not happening this year.
Let's see, waits a year, but
we'll see. I think it's a real possibility. He gets just a taste of being around his kids, and
it's like I think he's gonna do that and be like, "Fuck this shit, dude."
I meant it the other way. He's like, "Hey, I kind of like."
No, I know what you mean. No, I don't think so.
I could totally see either way, but
I mean, honestly, that would be better for him. Like,
right.
Yeah, dude, just go fucking retire.
I think most of the time, like they always say that with guys. Oh, he'll be back. He can't. He's a grinder or whatever.
There's a different. Dude, I mean, look at
you're right though. It is Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But I think most of the time those guys are like, this ain't so bad.
Well, dude, most of the time they can't play anymore. That's just like
true.
It's like, dude, we're seeing dudes retire when they're still really fucking good, dude. Luke Kuechly, like, dude, I was talking about Patrick Willis the other day. I didn't realize he retired when he was like 29 or 30 years old.
Yeah, this was his first year on, I believe his first year on the ballot or Hall of Fame ballot.
He's still a young man.
He retired in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. Well, maybe it wasn't his first year as a finalist, but yeah, and I voted for him. And, I came out with my own ballot, and I voted for him.
He has like 6 or 7 first-team All-Pros. He was an All-Pro every
year. He has almost 1,000 tackles in only about 7 seasons.
Yeah.
7 or 8.
Insane. Dude, he was hands down the best linebacker.
He was, and I wrote about this in my blog when I sent my ballot. Whenever I just remember Green Bay playing San Francisco, they had a lot of dudes on that defense who were really bad dudes. Patrick Willis, I thought, was the baddest dude on the field for them.
Easily. He was the baddest player on defense during that little stretch that he was in. I don't remember that time frame. Maybe 2008 to 2014-ish, somewhere
roughly,
in there.
Yeah. So what else we got? What else you wanted to talk about Russell Wilson and Philadelphia.
I want to talk about the Hall of Fame real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Dude, I respect Devin Hester. He's not a Hall of Famer. Like, we have to stop this. Like,
hang on. I've seen this floated around this week, and recency bias is factoring in. Is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer?
I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he's not right now. Because I think he's going to have another couple playoff runs, even if he doesn't win another Super Bowl. Like, he's going to have a lot of playoff success here at the end.
No, but he's one of those guys. They'll forgive just only one ring. Like Rodgers, they'll never forgive him only for winning one because he's way too good to only win one. Yeah. But Stafford is one of those guys. They'll be like, eh.
Well, he also just whether it's a fair.
And then they'll look at Detroit and they'll be like, well,
that's what I was gonna say, and I don't really buy that. But it's like, dude, he literally went to a good team for 1 year and he won the Super Bowl. Like, he has a very good, whether that's fair or not, that he has a really good argument to be like, dude, I could have had 3 rings if I went to a competent organization. Like, he can make that argument.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
I don't right now, but I'm telling you right now, he has 5 years left. He's probably going to throw for another 25,000 or 23,000 yards. Probably have another couple playoff wins. Might go to another Super Bowl.
And this is where we always talk about this. Passing yards is just becoming a meaningless statistic.
But I'm saying it is going to let them in.
Yes.
I'm not saying I agree with it. I think
I know what you're saying, and I agree.
My point is he's going to have everything, including the talent argument, because Matt Stafford is a Hall of Fame talent. Okay, he's #1 overall pick. He's going to have a lot of longevity stat. Granted, inflated passing stats, but they are going to be there. Big fucking time.
Yes.
Okay, they're not going to. He's not going to be I'm 10th here, dude. He's going to be 3rd passing yards. You know what I mean? He's going to be fucking up there because he hasn't really gotten hurt. He's thrown for a lot of yards since his rookie year, every year.
Yes.
He has a couple 5,000-yard passing seasons.
I think he had the most for a while.
Yeah.
But this is just my point
right now, though. For people to be like, he just punched his ticket to the Hall of Fame. Bullshit. No, he didn't. He didn't do shit for a decade plus. Like, he didn't do shit. Not fucking shit. So, like, you can't just be like, I think a lot of people, like, look at, like, thresholds as, like, the Hall of Fame, like, in baseball, like, 500 home runs, like, you're in automatically. Like, I don't think it should be quarterback wins a Super Bowl, you're in the fucking...
No.
You know, obviously it's not...
I mean, that's what happened with Joe Namath.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just get kind of, like, immortalized that in that sense, and, like, I don't know, man. Like, but that's a good question. I like that question. I love hypotheticals.
I don't think, even if he wins, let's pretend he wins another one.
Yeah.
I still don't think he is.
Oh, yes, he is.
Do you mean you think he is, or you think he's going to be?
Oh, I think both. Dude, if he wins 2 in LA, dude, you could sit there and be like, bro, even if I went to, like, a mid-organization, I could have made them really good for a decade and a half. Like, dude, he went to the Lions, bro.
I don't care. I care.
I agree with you to an extent, but, like, dude, if he goes to another squad and is like, dude, I won 2 Super Bowls.
Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. New England was a terrible organization.
So was Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Joe Burrow's making Cincinnati look good. I do not care. Josh Allen. Well, I think Josh Allen or Buffalo was pretty well run before he showed up. You know what I mean? But historically, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Same with, I mean, Mahomes, they did have a decade of Andy Reid and some good management, but
yeah.
I don't care. I don't care that he went to Detroit. I think really good quarterbacks will make do. It's not like he was playing with scrubs offensively. He had Calvin Johnson to throw to for most of his career. I don't know. I'm just kind of sick of it. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. He probably will be. I'm not going to dispute that. I just don't think he is. This is the Hall of Fame. If you have to think about it, he's not a Hall of Famer.
That's fair.
That's just me, though.
That's like one of the only instances of context, though, of like a player getting into the Hall of Fame I can possibly think of, though. So I agree with you in like 99.9% of cases. Because like I'm trying to think of like another thing of like, oh, well, like, if this just didn't happen, he would have easily been a Hall of Famer, but there's not really another one. So, whatever.
Eli Manning?
Eli Manning's not a Hall of Famer. But that's not the same. Has way better stats than Eli Manning. They probably have a similar record. And Eli Manning went to the freaking Giants. Like, the Giants are a great organization. Great organization.
Historically, yes.
Now. They've been terrible since he left, actually.
I don't know. It's... Because I would think, yes, Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer, but the numbers really don't add up for Eli, other than his 2 Super Bowls.
He's 500 or something like that. Or maybe a game above. That's crazy.
You know how I feel about quarterback wins, but...
Oh, of course you do, because you're an Aaron Rodgers guy. You sound like LeBron.
I'm not... You know what, dude? As Barry McCrockiner said, he's broken me. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done making the argument. I'm done.
Yeah. Dude, it was like...
So now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'm still here to say quarterback wins are bullshit.
We've already argued this point. I agree with you on an individual basis, but like over the course of a season or 2 seasons or 5 seasons, like, dude, if like you said, if you are actually a really good quarterback, your team will win games and you'll go to the playoffs consistently. If you are good. That was just your argument for Matt Stafford. If you have good quarterback play, you're going to win more than 8. Well, I would usually say more than 8, but now it's fucking not like half and half. There's 17 games now. I hate that shit so bad. I hate that.
Maybe I need to reassess with Stafford. I watch him. I think he's good. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. Would you agree that he's like really close to borderline then? But you just wouldn't vote him in because you just like I agree. Like, dude, I don't get super mad at people.
I gotta look at it. I guess I gotta see how his career plays out. If he ends up getting like 70,000 passing, up in the upper echelon of guys. But here's the thing. Eventually, everybody's gonna get there. Matt Ryan is on pace to break that record, too.
All he has to do is get in before they get there. You know what I mean? It's like they're going to snatch him back out.
Oh, no, 100%. But that's the thing, is everybody's going to get there eventually. 100%.
You know who else is going to be really close up there? Matt Ryan.
And I just said Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
And I'm not sure. If I had to put which one I thought was better before this season, I would have said Matt Ryan.
If Matt Ryan won that Super Bowl, would he be a Hall of Famer in your eyes?
Probably.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I mean, he would definitely probably be in.
I would not vote Matt Ryan in.
Right now, probably not. I mean, I gotta be real here.
I don't think he consistently made the Falcons good enough. They were very good some years.
Yeah,
he's a good player. Like, he's definitely a good player. But
that's another one. I think I have to reassess. If you told me asked me 5 years ago, I would say probably yes.
Yeah.
But now, probably not. So, Hall of Fame, you had a problem with Devin Hester. I agree 100%.
Yep.
The leading, as I've told people, the all-time NFL leader in return yards is not in the Hall of Fame. A guy named Brian Mitchell. Do you know where Devin Hester ranks on that list?
You told me. It's down there.
It's 8th, which is very good.
Yeah.
But it's 8th. If the number 1 guy isn't in the Hall of Fame, the number 8th guy doesn't deserve to be there. I'm sorry.
Just telling you this. Dude, listen, special teams touchdowns are cool as shit. Like, they really help your team. Dude, if you score a special team touchdown, you're probably going to win the game.
Yes.
But they're worth 6 points, dude. And he only scored like 22 of them or whatever. They're worth the same amount of points. Like, dude, Trayvon Diggs had like 2 pick sixes or 3 pick sixes this year. Like, you get touchdown. You know what I mean? He doesn't have enough touchdowns to get in my opinion. Like,
I do want to make this argument though. We need to give these guys more consideration, I think, for the Hall of Fame. It's part of the game.
Yes. But like, dude, Devin Hester's position wasn't returner. He was a wide receiver who returned. He sucked at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard this argument a bunch of times.
Well, he was also a DB. He started at DB.
There you go. Like, he made the argument the other day. He was like, dude, Tyreek Hill would easily, and I mean freaking easily, be the best returner of all time.
And they sometimes do put him out there.
Going back there, it seems like he returns it. It's insane. Every time. He's a franchise player, so they don't put him back there. Like, that's my point. He shouldn't be in.
When we talked about this earlier, I made the comparison that he was kind of like Ricky Henderson. Then I didn't realize Ricky Henderson was an AL MVP.
Ricky Henderson has an MVP, dude.
But you knew where I was coming from.
I know what you mean. Like, specialists deserve well, but like, dude, if he didn't have all that other shit, he wouldn't have got in. He would have just been like, yeah, remember the really fast guy? Like, that's all that would have been.
But I do believe kickers, punters, returners deserve more love.
The all-time leader in free throw percentage, but you fucking suck and you play 6 minutes a game. You're like, oh, we gotta let him in.
No, that's different.
He's good at the line.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you mean? That's like a special team of basketball. It's a fucking foul shot.
It's a very good point.
That's exactly what it is. It's fucking stupid. It's like, dude, you suck. You were on the bench all the time. You never saw the field. Like, we appreciate you sinking some fucking free throws at the end of the game a couple times for us, but like, you suck at basketball.
It would probably, I don't know. You're right though.
Analogy.
That's a pretty good analogy. That's a pretty good analogy. Yeah. But in regards to the Hall of Fame, it was a very surprising class. A lot of guys that I didn't think would get in got in. I'm glad that Green Bay's own Leroy Butler got in, long overdue.
I'm glad Dick Vermeil got in.
Yes, I don't want to say I'm a big fan of Dick Vermeil because he was before my time, but he was just one, and I wrote it on my blog. If you had told me like that he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, which I mean ended up being the case, but I was like, wait, what? He's not in the Hall of Fame already? Like, I would have assumed he already was.
Yeah, he's an all-time great coach for like 2. Like,
and he only coached for 15 seasons.
Really? That's crazy.
Only a head coach for 15 seasons.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I don't remember. I don't know if Philadelphia fired him or he resigned, but he was at Philadelphia the longest, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Took him to a Super Bowl. What's that?
Rams?
Then he went to the Rams like a decade later.
Yeah.
And built them up. He built all of his teams up, though.
Yeah.
Like, the Eagles were dog shit.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole New Kids on the Block, Marky Mark era of Invincible.
They lost John Madden in the Super Bowl.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah.
Then I guess he retired or they fired him. I don't know. Then he waits about 10, 12 years. He goes to the Rams. granted, when you lump him in with the Rams in the late 90s, you're going to immediately link him to the greatest show on turf. Oh, he inherited a bunch of talent. That is not the case at all. They were lousy his first 2 years there. His third year, they won the Super Bowl, and then that year was like the first year, really, of the greatest show on turf. Then I guess he retired again.
And went to the Chiefs.
And then he went to the Chiefs and took them to the playoffs. So, one of only about 6 coaches to take 3 different teams to the playoffs.
Hall of Famer, for sure.
I thought for sure DeMarcus Ware was going to get in.
So my roommate's a Cowboys fan.
I'm shocked he didn't get in.
So do I. I mean, he's one of the best pass rushers of all time, in my opinion.
He's top 10, I think, in sacks.
I mean, he is. I mean, I wouldn't say he's quite.
I called him a no-brainer in my blog. I said, this is a no-brainer. He's going to get in.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
I mean, I think he had 2 separate Hall of Fame careers, damn near, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah. He didn't play with the Broncos that long, but yeah. That's where he won the Super Bowl, though.
5 seasons, wasn't he? I mean, maybe not a Hall of Fame career, but, he was there for a while, dude. And he had a good time. He was good there.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I thought, some of these guys, Tony Baselli got in, who I think was 100% deserving, because he only played about 8 seasons, but he was an all-pro for, 6.
Yeah.
I thought he would probably have to wait, but I thought that Patrick Willis would probably... I voted for him, but I thought he had a long shot. Because, again, those guys who don't play very long, usually it takes them a year or 2.
I just think...
Another one I was really shocked by was Andre Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know if he's first ballot, though.
True. I thought the thing going for him... I told this to you at one point.
His Hall of Fame.
Before, I think it was Randy Moss, only about 5 or 6... wide receivers in NFL history were first ballot Hall of Famers.
T.O. even wasn't.
The last one before Randy Moss was Jerry Rice. And then to your point, T.O. had to wait 2 or 3 years. And then Randy Moss got in, and then last year Calvin Johnson got in. And I thought, okay, well, the trend is going to keep going, maybe. And, Andre Johnson has that going for him. But ended up, he'll get in eventually. I'm not, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, they'll all get in, for sure.
So we've talked about the Hall of Fame. Give me your Russell Wilson.
Dude, I want him to go get Russell Wilson, man. Really bad. Obviously, I would like him to get Deshaun Watson and stuff. I don't think that's going to happen because of all this stuff coming up and all that. And just the Eagles, I mean, I don't know. I would take him too, but I'm just looking at it. We have all this draft capital in 1 year. It's you can basically, I would just look at it as you're trading 1 first-round pick. It's not. It's 3, but it's all in 1 year. You're not losing.
And the other thing, it's all within about 5 picks of each other. It's really only about 1 pick.
It's dude, if Seattle will take those 3 firsts and Jalen and a 4th for Russell Wilson, dude, I'll drive the shit there.
I think it's gonna take more than that. I mean, you're giving up a big-time quarterback.
I agree with you. Honestly,
it's probably going to take another first, the next year. Which in that case, you're going to hear people. You give up 4 for Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
it's really more 1 for this year because they're all so clumped together between about picks 15 to 19.
Yeah, I mean we'll see. I would do that if the Seahawks would do that for whatever reason because they're stupid. But I want them to trade for Russell Wilson because the AFC is stacked right now.
Yes.
The NFC is very weak, especially if Aaron Rodgers leaves. I mean, it's going to be, Matt Stafford, Kyler, and Dak?
Those are the top 3, I think.
These dudes are fucking bums. Russell Wilson is better than them, or at least as good as them. And, I think he's never had a great O-line. It's dude, just come here and play behind a really good O-line with a running game and, actually hit open receivers and shit. They win 12 games next year. It'd be sick.
I'm wavering. At the end of the regular season, you didn't hear a peep out of this. And I thought, well, I guess he's going to go back to Seattle and they'll run it back with him and Pete. And I'm starting to waver. It does sound like that it's starting to come out. That
I think the Giants have a good chance of getting him.
I mean, 2 top 10 picks. That's hard to pass up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But, is he going to want to get – because he has the no-trade clause. And I don't think he'll want to go to Philly either for what it's worth. I'm not saying, he'd go to Philly. But, dude, Philly is inarguably a better situation.
Yes.
The Giants need
Does he want to go from Seattle with a bad O-line to the Giants with a bad O-line and no top 10 picks?
That they're giving up the
revamp
first-round picks that they should be using on the O-line to get him for? Dude, the Eagles have the O-line set. It's the defense could use some work. But, this isn't a top-heavy draft. They're going to get a lot of, really good players later in the draft. They can still build up the defense and get rid of those 3 first-round picks.
The thing with those 3 picks. They're clumped together, but it gives you ammo to trade up.
Yeah, you can do all those to move up into the top 5. Probably.
You probably don't have to give up 2. Just give up 1.
Yeah.
And then a later pick. And then that'll get you up to the top 10, get the guy you want. Then guess what? You still have another 2.
And then, dude, at the end of the day, straight up, if they were just like, nah, we're just going to build the team, not mad about it. Go get 3 studs on defense. Get me one at every level.
My mock draft comes out tomorrow. I don't know if you're going to like – I think you will, but I don't know if you're going to like who I got for the Eagles.
I want Linderbaum.
He ain't going to be there. I don't think he will.
I don't think either of those will be there either. I think the Giants will take him with those picks if they, whatever. I want, Gardner, Linderbaum, Nakobe Dean, or Devin Lloyd. Like, the D lineman, I don't really care. The 2 from Georgia would be cool. I would like the dude from Florida State. I think he's really good. I think the dude from Purdue is really good. They just need to lock and load on the defense big time.
I'll go ahead and say I gave 2 out of the 3 to the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and I think they believe me, dude. Howie's not going to pick 3 defensive players.
Nah, I don't think so.
I promise you. I want him to kind of pick Jameson Williams because I think when his ACL heals, he's going to be an absolute fucking demon in the league.
I agree. I mean, that's one. We'll see what happens with his knee. Most teams are kind of afraid of that, and it happened late in the year. But
reminds me of Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah.
I think he's more of a vertical threat than CeeDee Lamb.
He definitely is, but that lanky-ass frame. I like it.
I do have him as a first-round pick. I have him going much later, though, than probably other people do.
Oh, I'm sure he'll move down. Because,
for sure.
I don't know if he'll have to redshirt the year, but he's not going to, be effective this year. And they might just want to redshirt him this year. Like, a team that picks him late in the first, they might just, listen, we're obviously good because we're in the 20s.
As we've said, speed kills. Like, I'm still shocked that I think it was Rondale Moore wasn't drafted in the first round last year. But Jameson Williams, I think, is going to be.
Never underestimate the fact that this kid's 22. Like, dude, they heal dude. I bet you he'll be fucking sprinting in 4 months. Jameson Williams will be fine.
Most likely.
I would. Pick him.
So now I guess if we're gonna talk about Russell Wilson, we got to talk about my quarterback.
He's gone.
I'm not convinced either way.
It's not because there's a better situation. I think he's just dude, I'm just gonna go try it somewhere else for 2 years and then retire, dude.
I keep thinking, it's just one of those deals. I don't think either side wants to. I don't think Green Bay wants him to leave. I don't think Aaron wants to leave. But I keep looking at that cap number, and I'm like, I don't see how you're gonna stay with the cap number the way you are.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless you take a pay cut, which he might, I don't know, but I say unlikely. I can't get over that. I can't get over that we're $50 million in the hole, and he's taking up a good chunk of that, and I'm just like, I just don't know if we can keep you at that number.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, they talked about giving him an extension and adding void years to help with that, so maybe that's what it's going to take, but I don't know. I think it's leaning toward he's staying, honestly. I think
it's 50-50. But I just, like you said, I don't think he, wants to leave Green Bay. I think he's just all right, dude, I'm just going to try to run it real quick somewhere else. Doesn't work. Because, I think he's looking at the other greats that have done that. He's all right, Peyton left Indy and went and, played a couple more years somewhere else, had success. Tom left Patriots, went and, I think he's just dude, let me just fucking clear out of here real quick, go play another 2 years. I don't think it's any hard feelings. I think all that shit's under the bridge of I got beef with the Packers org. I don't like this guy and this guy.
I don't know.
I think that shit's going. I just think, dude, he's just gonna want to change the scenery for the last couple years. Other quarterbacks have.
That verbiage, I think, is perfect.
Huh?
I think that verbiage you used is perfect. Change of scenery for both sides. I said it after the loss to San Francisco. I was like, it's time. It's time to move on.
They can't really do it because of Ryan Tannehill's dead cap number, but dude, if he went to the Titans,
I would love that, honestly.
I would love that, dude, because he would dominate that shitty division. And
Julio, AJ Brown, Derrick Henry.
Oh my
God. A decent O-line, not a great O-line anymore, but
he could work on that. that. Like, they could work on that this offseason. Be like, dude, we're gonna patch up this O-line for you. Like, no worries, we're gonna get a good, good free. I don't know what their cap space looks like, but
good coach, pretty decent enough defense. I mean,
I would love that, man. And just the division. The division sucks. He would beat the shit out of all those teams 6 times.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen because of Tannehill.
No, it's not. I've been listening to hypotheticals on podcasts and shit, and it's just.
If he has to go anywhere, I'm hoping it's Tennessee or Pittsburgh. I don't know why. Tennessee they're historically not a great organization. I wouldn't mind seeing them win a Super Bowl.
Dude, obviously everyone's saying Denver, and like I know
I am so sick of Denver Bronco fans. I'm so sick of them.
I still think he goes there, though. That's the thing.
Well, that's the one that makes the most sense right now.
But it's like, dude, you're going to go play these fucking aliens every fucking year now over there? Like, you're probably not even going to win the division, dude. Realistically, you might.
You got Herbert. You got Mahomes. By the way, the Raiders are pretty good.
McDaniel.
And they just hired McDaniels. I mean, but they have, I think, the most to offer. They have a top 10 pick to give Green Bay. They have 2 2s and 2 3s. I mean, they got the most capital. They have good players to offer to just keep sweetening the pot.
Would you do this? Would you trade Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders right now for 2 1s and Derek Carr?
Yes.
Really? Okay, cool. Because
I wouldn't even hesitate.
I was like, honestly, that's not like a bad situation, but I think Shane's gonna like be appalled by this. But thank you for saying yes.
No, I said that last year.
I think LaFleur with Derek Carr would win 11 or 12
His cap number's not nearly as bad as Aaron's.
Well, apparently, they're talking about him wanting Dak Prescott money, which is
well then
true.
No.
But I think at like 35 mil, like.
But that's the thing. I don't know if they will take a quarterback.
I think Derek Carr is going to be another situation very similar to Stafford, where it's like, dude, he was better than the organization he was in, and I think he's going to go somewhere else late in his career and do.
We have been Derek Carr kind of.
He's
supporters.
Not that bad.
Yes.
I think people shit on him. I think, dude, he has a hose. Like, that's for sure. He does make some dumb decisions sometimes, but like he can spin the football very well.
I think he's like Stafford. He's underrated. People don't give him enough credit.
Dude, I read a thing today. He had 5 head coaches in 9 years. 6 head coaches in 9 years.
Del Rio.
Allen.
Was it Dennis Allen?
Yeah.
You might be right. You might be right. I think he was fired in 2014. So you're right. I think it was Dennis Allen, then Del Rio, Gruden. So well, when was Del Rio fired?
Not that long ago.
I'm trying to think. I know Gruden was hired in 2018. I don't remember if.
I think Del Rio got fired the year after his 12-4 season.
Let's look that up real quick. Because now I'm curious. It's been quite a bit. He entered the league in 2014. Las Vegas Raiders. Previous head coaches. History of Raiders head coaches. Tony Sparano.
He's had 3 in the last.
He must have been an interim. Yeah, I think he was an interim.
Yeah.
Tony Sparano, which I don't really count interims. I know other people do. Dennis Allen, so that's 2.
To point out, I mean, the numbers are kind of arbitrary. It doesn't really matter. My point is, he's had no consistency. He hasn't had really good offensive minds around him or anything like that. Like, if he went and played in like a West Coast-ish, like Shanahan, LaFleur type of offense, like I think he'd be really freaking good.
Let's see. Dennis Allen, Tony Sparano, Del Rio, Gruden, Bisaccia, and now McDaniel. So 6 head coaches.
In 9 years.
Is it 9? 2014? Yeah. Probably 9 seasons. It will be this year. Okay.
Yeah.
I really count that more as, what, 4?
I mean, it's not
but
great.
Yeah, no, that's still not great.
You know what I mean? And like I said, the interim coaches, like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to really, like, count them as, like, head coaches. Cause
I count them once they become the head coach.
But my point is, like, that just outlines the turmoil. Like, he's playing under interim coaches. Like, dude, you never want a franchise quarterback playing under an interim coach, dude. That's just fucking sloppy.
I will say that another reason which the news broke today about Green Bay hiring a quarterback coach, I think it gives ammo that Rodgers is not going anywhere. They hired Tom Clements, who was his quarterback coach from 2006 to 2016. Worked with him a lot. Rodgers thinks very highly of him. It reeks of desperation on Green Bay's part. I won't dispute that. But yeah, apparently he likes him, and he was coming out of retirement. He's almost 70 years old. I have a hard time believing he's doing that to Coach Jordan Love. Like, if he's the starter.
Can you admit Jordan Love sucks? Please.
How many games has he played? A game and a half?
Your argument or mine?
A game and a half? Can I get a full season first? Can I get a full season first?
A full season? He's probably never even going to get to play a full season because he's dog shit.
We'll see.
I will be happy to eat my words. Like, I don't like seeing dudes suck, but he's just not good.
We'll see.
Went to fucking Utah State. Why'd you do that?
Josh Allen went to Wyoming.
Josh Allen is an alien. Jordan Love is not, dude. Josh Allen is 6'5".
Look, I'm not here pounding the table that like we've yet to see the best of Jordan Love and he just needs time, whatever. I'm not doing that. All I'm saying is, hey, can we give him more than a game and a half? I don't think that's ridiculous, James.
All right, fair. Whatever.
If Trevor Lawrence, did we give up on him after a game and a half? Did we give up on Josh Allen after a game and a half? I know this is the end of his second year.
3 years, Josh Allen made the playoffs his third year.
He made the playoffs after his first or second year.
Second year. Made the playoffs his second year. And he went to Wyoming and sucked there. Like, I'm saying, like, dude, it's crazy because, like, I hear about it all the time, how, like, there's dudes that are just legitimately better pros than they were college players because they're pro athletes, so that's all they do. Like, they're not worried about school, they're not out fucking, partying and all this shit. And, yeah, dude, I think that's the case there. But, man, what, you got any other hypotheticals for me?
I saw one similar to Rodgers. Philly offering those 3 first-round picks, Jalen Hurts, and, probably something else for Rodgers. Would you do it? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It would be cool, but, like, obviously...
I don't think he's going to get traded in the NFC, but...
I mean, dude would never go to Philly anyway. He would retire first. Like, Rodgers is in a position where he can easily, retire. His legacy's intact. Like, he's fine. He has a bunch of MVPs. He has a ring. Like, he's good. He's not going to go play for a shitty team. Not a shitty team, but he's just not... Dude, he's not going to go to Philly. Like, I get that.
I've seen some Green Bay people argue, is Denver really better? Even...
It's not.
It's not.
That was my whole point, what I was saying earlier. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think he, like, wants to leave, like, this sucks. Like, this is going to be bad next year. I just think he's just like, dude, like, I just need something a little bit different just to see what it's like. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing, is he's got one more year left on his current contract. Maybe he does go somewhere else. He becomes a free agent, and then he's like, you know what? This sucks. I want to go back to Green Bay.
And they'd welcome him back, so there you go.
Oh, I would. And either way, I'm like last year. I don't care. I'll welcome him back if that's the decision they go with. If we get rid of him, thank you. Let's strip this whole thing down. I don't know why you're laughing at me.
I'm laughing because I know that pain.
Honestly, I would embrace a rebuild right now. I really would.
They're fun. They're fucking fun.
They are fucking fun. I'm all about the build.
Sit there and be like, if I don't win the Super Bowl this year, I'm gonna be pissed. You can just sit there and be like, yo, this player looked good. Like, they're gonna be sick next year. Did you see LaFleur actually improved in this area this year? Like, you can actually appreciate fucking games. Like, even if you lose, you can appreciate, like, a player that you drafted playing well. But, like, dude, when you're in, like, that window, like, I remember the 2017 and 2018 2019 teams, like, the Eagles sucked. But, like, they had the Super Bowl expectations, and those seasons fucking sucked. They sucked. Because every game they lost, I was like, it was terrible. Like, it was fucking horrible. And now you can just be like, yeah, like, the Packers need to find a quarterback because they don't have one because Jordan Love sucks. But, yeah.
I don't have. You keep rubbing that in my face. I'm not disputing it, but I'm just saying, can we give him more than a game and a half?
No.
I know. We think in terms of years, and it's the end of the year 2.
Because my thing is like, I've already said it. Like, you don't need. I haven't even seen flashes. Like, I've seen people show like a couple of like throws that he made, but like they were into like double and triple coverage. Like, I'm not impressed with him.
His accuracy is a major issue.
I don't know.
That's my biggest thing with him.
All right, I don't even want to talk about Jordan Love. It's the most boring topic of all time.
Maybe for some of us enjoy it, but I could talk Packers all day.
I mean, Packers fine, but Jesus Christ, you're shitty backup.
Your Sixers made a big trade.
Yeah.
Ran what's his face out of town. Ben Simmons.
Yeah, what's his face is right. Clown.
Has he played it all? I don't watch the NBA anymore. Has he played it all this year? No. So is he just doing the Deshaun Watson? Perfectly healthy and just hanging out?
Now he's about to play with the Nets. I think he's playing like tomorrow or something. Or he might play after the All-Star break, I guess.
When is the All-Star break this week?
And I think maybe next weekend. So
I don't watch the NBA.
I keep up with it. I watch, the Sixers sometimes, but
I will be honest. At the end of the postseason last year, I kind of got into it because it was like the Final Four were teams that aren't really there often. It was like Utah,
it was awesome.
Phoenix, Milwaukee, Atlanta. I was like, shit, yeah, I'll watch this. It wasn't the usual suspects, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm sure the same thing will happen this year. I'm not a regular season guy.
It will, because it's not going to be the Lakers, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, Lakers look like they suck. I'm a Celtics fan. They're not very good, but...
No, the Celtics are pretty good right now.
Ryan Russillo says they're a mess, but he's...
I just saw a power ranking today where they were like 6.
Well, they are. I think they're 6 in the East. I think they might be playing better right now, but they sucked for a while. But I figured it would be like that with Stevens moving from the court to the booth, or to the... What do you call it? Where the owner and the GM and the front office is. It's not the booth. Sweet. Yes, thank you. We got anything else to talk about? I guess we can look ahead to the off. Well, we already have a little bit. Look to the draft.
I already talked about the draft.
Who's the first overall pick right now?
No fucking idea.
No idea?
No idea. Because, first of all, I want to see the combine and, what they're about the DNs and the tackles.
When was the last time we were going into the combine not knowing, not having an idea of who the number 1 overall pick was?
Not at all.
Maybe 2017 when they drafted Myles Garrett, but even then I felt pretty good Myles Garrett was going to be the number 1 overall pick.
I've seen 4 players that could go number 1 in all these mock drafts. It's the tackle from NC State, the tackle from Bama.
Tackles and edge rushers.
And then the 2 edge rushers, the Michigan edge rusher and the Oregon edge rusher.
I don't think it'll be a quarterback. I don't think the earliest I think we can see a quarterback is maybe the 5th pick to the Giants. The earliest.
I don't think Giants go, but
I don't either. But I just say maybe.
Panthers go pick it though.
I think that's probably gonna be it, unless something else happens.
Matt Rule recruited him.
Oh, did he really?
They need a quarterback. He needs to save. He needs to save his ass. Yeah.
He does. I agree.
But I do think a team could trade up and draft him or something if they really.
None of these guys are worth trading up for.
I already told you I have my quarterback theory, and Kenny Pickett actually fit into that. So I'm starting to think he might be good.
I like Kenny Pickett. He's the one. If I had to bank on one of them, I would push my chips toward Kenny Pickett, and I would say, all right, I think this dude's gonna be pretty good.
My quarterback theory.
What's your quarterback theory?
You have to go to a Power 5 school.
Okay.
But you can't go to any of
Josh Allen broke that, but okay.
No, I'm not saying there's not enough. Come on, Jesus Christ. But I'm saying, you want to see a guy go to a Power 5 school that's usually maybe in the middle and make him good when he's the starting quarterback. And think about the guys in the league right now and how that's the case for almost all of them, and even some of the greats like Aaron Rodgers. That was the case. Tom Brady. That was the case.
Come on, he went to Michigan. That's like a top 10 program.
That was the case. Name all the top guys. That's not my point though. I'm talking about a Clemson, Bama, type situation where literally, first of all, 10 games out of your schedule, you're just playing like teams that you're just way fucking better than. So you're just running up stats. You're throwing to wide open guys. You have all this time to block. Like, Kenny Pickett went to Pitt, who's been in the middle for a long time in the ACC. Didn't they win the ACC?
Yes, this past year.
Like 40 touchdowns and they won the ACC with probably 2 and 3 star recruits. Like, I think those type of players end up being really good in the NFL because I think they're coachable. They don't have like a big head. They're not overly athletic or like giant fucking arm guys and stuff.
That's not a bad theory at all. I remember once upon a time,
none of the top guys went to the big schools I'm talking about. Patrick Mahomes did. Yeah. None of them did.
One that I thought of was quarterbacks. Like at one time, this was around 2010. Like the best in the league went to like really good academic schools. So like Brady went to Michigan, Breeze went to Purdue. Rodgers was pretty good at that time. Went to Cal. I'm trying to think of others. There were some outliers like Ben Roethlisberger, Miami of Ohio. No offense to the Red Hawks.
But no, I think that's a perfect example. Yeah. Okay, it's not a Power 5 school, but he went to like a school that's not known for shit. Then they went like undefeated or something.
They were really good when he was there. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, so like that's my point. Same thing with Joe Flacco. Like he went to a 1A, but like dude, UD was like I'm pretty sure they won the national championship.
Delaware is always a pretty good FCS
They
school.
haven't been in a few years, but like when I was a kid, they were always like a really good team. Like we used to go to the games and shit. So, but
another outlier was like Peyton Manning went to Tennessee, but like most of them went to really good academic schools. So I don't. Yeah. That was always kind of my theory for a little bit.
I mean, dude,
and Pitt's a pretty good academic school.
But like, dude, like I'll get just like C.J. Stroud that's going to come out. I think C.J. Stroud's a beast, but like I don't know because he's at Ohio State. Like Bryce Young, I don't know because he's there. Tua, Mac Jones, like. These guys, Dwayne Haskins, like these guys look really good on these teams, and they get to the NFL and they're lost because they have to throw the fucking football in a keyhole with like a giant guy about to hit them every 2 seconds. Where when they're playing, like, dude, when Ohio State's playing Indiana, bro, like he's playing like 7-year-olds is like the equivalent. Is basically
show Indiana some respect. Mock Rutgers. Or Maryland.
I'm just thinking of a shitty Big Ten team. Like they're it's like they're playing kids that are younger.
I like that theory, though. I mean, definitely nowadays. I mean, Russell Wilson went to Wisconsin. I mean, or NC State first.
NC State and then Wisconsin.
But like, I would say that's probably the outlier right now. Wisconsin's a pretty good football program.
I'm not talking about like good football. I'm talking about like the NFL factories right now. Where
I see what you mean.
I'm not talking about like Michigan and like teams that are really good. Obviously, like Michigan State. Even I would even say like an LSU isn't really necessarily there, but they're kind of there. But you know what I mean. Like,
I see what you mean. You like mean the teams the programs that aren't factories.
They were really fucking good when he was there. You know what I mean? Like I think that was a good indicator that Dak was going to be decent in the league.
I see what you mean, though. You just mean the non-factory schools.
Yes.
Joe Burrow broke that.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow broke that trend. We'll see, I guess, with Trevor Lawrence. Well, Clemson's a factory, I would argue right now.
I mean, I don't know. Did Joe Burrow break that trend? I know LSU, like, you could consider it that, but, like, they were pretty shitty before he got there, let's be honest.
Yeah, but they were putting dudes in the league.
Oh, of course, but, like...
That's what I thought you meant. Like, NFL factories are just putting dudes in the league
But, no, that's fair, though. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Mahomes, Texas Tech doesn't put very many guys in the league.
Let's just go through the divisions right now. Do it. It's sick.
Division by division in the NFL or college?
NFL.
Okay.
Right now.
Mac Jones. We got to go alphabetical order. I'm sorry. Buffalo. Josh Allen. Wyoming.
Did not go to a big school, but
Miami.
That's an outlier.
Miami. Tua.
And he sucks. And he looked really good in people were saying tank for Tua.
New England. Mac Jones. We'll see. Really good rookie year. We'll see, though. I don't think he'll be much better than what he was this past year. New York, Zach Wilson.
I think that's still just a question mark right now. I don't really have a comment on
that. So let's do guys who've been in the league longer than 3 years. All right, so we'll leave Burrow out. Baker Mayfield.
No, he went to an NFL factory, in my opinion.
Okay. Roethlisberger's out of the league.
Into that right now. I think him and Kyler are really are helping my point. They went to these, we have 5-star guys everywhere. We're putting a bunch of guys into the league, and everyone's wide open, and they're all talented, so they're obviously making every play. But it's like that's just not how it is.
We're gonna go through all of them. Lamar Jackson, smaller school, but Louisville.
Made him good.
Hang on, Deshaun Watson.
No, he doesn't count. That's actually an anomaly. That's one of the even though I would argue he kind of like is what made them.
Yes.
Like, that factory, but like I would say that's one where you could argue either way.
But Carson Wentz, Indianapolis, and North Dakota State, small school, or not really. Well, I would kind of argue North Dakota State might be a factory right now for FCS.
No, they actually are. But
we're not gonna count Trevor Lawrence. Ryan Tannehill. A&M though has been putting dudes in the league recently.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm talking about these like top echelon teams. I'm talking about second, third tier teams.
AFC West. Dude, Mahomes, Texas Tech.
Dude, Pitt has like 3 goated players. Like in the
Let's
Hall
not
of Fame.
give Pitt credit.
They have 3 Hall of Fame like beast players that I can think of off the top of my head.
Dan Marino, Darrell Revis, Aaron Donald.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Forgot about him. Yeah. No, I mean Pitt's problem hasn't been recruiting. Like it's been.
Let's not get into a Pitt discussion.
That's what I'm saying. Why are we talking about Pitt?
But all right, I'm just saying. I think my theory holds a little weight.
I'm gonna keep going though. Derek Carr, Fresno State.
Made him really good.
Herbert, Oregon. I would argue that's a factory, but
no, they're not. Dude, Oregon is not like in national champions. I'm talking about teams that are in the natties, dude. Like. You keep saying, like, oh, well, they had 2 first-rounders last year. Like, no, dude.
All right.
Clemson, Ohio State.
Well, that's all of them. That's all the AFCs. NFC, Daniel Jones, Duke, although he's not that good.
Couldn't have drafted him. That's my whole point. Like, he went to a team that's not usually good at football. They still weren't that good when he was there. I mean, what, did they win 9 games when he was there? Big fucking deal.
Jalen Hurts went to 2 big schools.
Went to factories, and he's not good. There you go.
Who am I missing? Dak, Mississippi State.
Example.
Washington.
I don't even
TBD know right now.
Yeah, I don't even.
They don't really have a quarterback. North. Jared Goff, Cal.
Yes.
Justin Fields. We're leaving him out. Aaron Rodgers, Cal.
And I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good. Yeah, obviously Aaron Rodgers. There you go.
Cousins, Michigan State.
There you go.
South, Sam Darnold, USC, and he sucks.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, Boston College.
Yep.
That was the other one that I thought about. Academic school. Well, Brady's gone, so we don't really know what Tampa has. New Orleans, though.
Jameis.
Florida State, not that good.
I think it falls into that too. Like Florida State is like obviously like a blue blood team, but like dude, they haven't been good before or since him.
When he was there, though, they were a factory.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, fair.
Taysom Hill, what was it, BYU?
Yeah.
Then the West, Kyler Murray, Oklahoma. So that's kind of an outlier.
And I think he's falling into he's not that good category. He's really talented, but he's not doing
No, much. I don't think he's that good either.
You know what I mean? And yeah, okay, so go ahead.
Stafford, Georgia.
Georgia's a powerhouse now, but they weren't really when he was there. Were they?
Not what they are now, but like they had AJ Green and Noshawn Marino. They had some dudes. Garoppolo, Eastern Illinois, or is it Eastern Illinois? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's gone. Trey Lance, North Dakota State, and then Russell Wilson, Wisconsin. Not really a factory. So yeah, you got a pretty good theory right now.
And you got like, dude.
There were maybe 2 or 3 where they were like, okay, big school, good quarterback.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, dude.
There was one I wanted to follow up on.
You want to see guys go elevate talent, not be elevated by talent. Like that's kind of like the crux of my theory there. You know what I mean?
So let's go through this year. Pitt, Pitt's not really a factory. Every decade they get maybe 5 years they put a Hall of Famer in the league. So Pickett and then Corral, Ole Miss.
And I don't think it's going to be good. I don't see it in Corral.
He's tiny. He's only about 6'2", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Corral. Who am I missing after him?
Willis didn't make Liberty that good.
Yeah,
I think he has like a Josh Allen thing to him, where if he goes to a really good situation, a really good coach, he actually might be good.
He reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson. He's just not nearly as polished of a passer.
Yeah.
I like Sam Howell more than other people, but he's kind of little too. What?
Oh, in your life, Sam Howell fucking sucks. I've never been more sure of something in my life. He's a shitty Baker Mayfield. He's short and he's chubby. He sucks.
Baker Mayfield's a fair comp. He's a poor man's Baker Mayfield. Not poor, but they're about the same.
No, poor man's Baker Mayfield, and that's saying something.
Desmond Ridder, though, Cincinnati. That's where all these guys are from. So by your theory, at least one of them is going to work out. Dude, maybe.
Dude, Sam Howell's going to suck very bad.
Okay. I don't care either way.
He might go to Green Bay. You better care.
Nah, he's not going to
draft him.
We're not going to draft a quarterback.
I was just joking.
We're not drafting a quarterback. Especially if 12 is staying, but even if Love's there, I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback. All I said was I like Sam Howell. I've seen him be good. He was terrible not very good this past year, but I've seen him, though, be good.
All right, bud. I got to go cook down.
Yeah, I got to go eat, too. All right, later.
Later, everyone.